We will now start testing the add liquidity and remove liquidity functions. We will first test the add liquidity BNB function, and we will use cake and BNB to add liquidity. So the first step is instantiate a new contract. This contract will be the cake token contract that's already existing on the Binance Smart Chain. We specify the address, which I have right here. Then here we need to give the ABI. We don't need the entire ABI, we only need the approve function. So we'll just add the approve function here and then the signer. And then what we do is we approve our exchange. So it's like I'm the user that wants to add liquidity. So before adding liquidity to a smart contract, I have to confirm a metamask transaction that this contract can take in my tokens. So this is what we are doing here. And then this is just a simulation to say that it waits a bit for the transaction to get mined. Next, we declare a constant amount of BNB for cake. This will use the get amount of token B for token A function that we implemented in our contract to get the price of cake token in BNB. So here we are saying for 5,000 cake tokens, I have to also add an amount of BNB, which will be returned by this function. And then what we do is we declare an add liquidity transaction constant. And this is the add liquidity BNB transaction from our smart contract, which will take cake, the amount of cake that we are adding, and here the value of BNB that we are sending. This will be equal to our amount of BNB for cake, and here a gas limit. I don't know exactly why, but if you don't specify a gas limit here, it might revert with a gas error. And then we console log the transaction details. Let's now run the test, but first we need to run the node. So it will be npx hardhat node -- fork and the chain stack https URL. We have this running, so let's run the test now. This will be with npx hardhat test, the test folder, and the my exchange tests on the network localhost. So we got an error, and the error says that the transfer amount exceeds the balance. Maybe you already guessed it, but the thing is that we have no cake to add inside this pool. So first we need to swap for some cake, and because hardhat already gives us the BNB amount, we can use that BNB to swap for any other token now. So let's run a swap. We will just run the test for swap exact BNB for cake. This will transfer to our wallet some cake tokens. Okay, the transaction is done. Let's check it in our browser. So let's go to our wallet, and we see that we got a lot of cake. So what we are doing now is that we are running the add liquidity BNB function. So you see that the transaction ran successfully. So let's check what happened inside our wallet. If we go now into our wallet, first we see that the amount of cake has been decreased. Also the BNB has been decreased. But what you also see now is that we got some cake LP. So these are the LP tokens that we got for adding liquidity inside the BNB and cake pair. And you simply need to get the address of the BNB and cake pair from the Pancakeswap v2, and you need to import it inside your wallet. Or simply just go to your terminal where you are running your node, and here if you did the code exactly as I did it, you will have a console log, and the first here will be an address. So this address is the address of the pair, so of the LP contract. And what you can do is take this address, import it into your metamask, and now you will see the balance of your LP tokens. Let's run the test for the add liquidity function, where we will add liquidity for two ERC20 tokens, cake and link. So the first step is getting the contracts. So we are getting the contract of cake and the contract of link, and we are approving our exchange to spend our tokens. After that, we are getting how much link do I have to add for an amount of cake inside the pool. And at the end, we are simply running the add liquidity function with the two tokens, the amount of cake that we are sending, the amount of link, and the gas limit. Before running this test, we need to swap for some link because we have cake, but we don't have link inside the wallet right now. So what we will do is go up here, simply uncomment this test, replace the cake token address with the link token address. Let's comment this too, so we can only run the swap for now. Let's clear the terminal and run the test. So now we will give 500 BNB for link. We see that transaction is successful. Let's check inside our wallet. So if you go inside our wallet, we can see that we have a pretty big amount of link. So we are ready to add liquidity with link and cake. So we are now ready to add liquidity. Let's simply clear the terminal and let's add liquidity. So you can see that the transaction was successful. Let's check inside our wallet if we got more LP tokens. But before going to the wallet, you can just go here to the node terminal and we can check really quick for the pair address. If we go inside our wallet, this is the LP token for the cake and link pool. I honestly think that something is wrong with this pool because we should have more LP. I ran some tests where I added more liquidity multiple times and stuff just got broken. And I think the main reason is that this pool on the mainnet, it's very low. It has like $20 or something like that of liquidity. And I think that because there is no liquidity, something is wrong with the LP tokens, which I did not find out yet what is actually wrong with it. But you can see the idea. We could use another pool which has liquidity and do the same thing. So now that we are done with the add liquidity, all we have left is the two remove liquidity functions. So let's run the tests for those. So we will first run the test for the remove liquidity. We will try to remove our liquidity from the cake and BNB pool. First, we need to get the LP token address. Then with that LP token, we need to approve our exchange, because in order to remove your liquidity, you have to send your LP tokens first inside the smart contract. So you can prove that you are the owner of that liquidity. Then we will simply get the balance of the user, because we want to send all our LP tokens. And then we run the remove liquidity BNB function with cake and total amount of LP tokens that we want to send. Let's run this test. After running this test, we should have 0 LP tokens left and our initial deposit of cake should be back. So now after the transaction is done, we should have 0 LP tokens inside our wallet. We should get back the cake that we deposited initially, and actually we should have more cake than we deposited because we earned some rewards while providing liquidity. If we now go inside our wallet, we see that we have 0 LP tokens and our balance of cake is back. So we get back our tokens plus some rewards, and the LP tokens have been sent from our wallet to the contract. Let's now test the last function, which is the remove liquidity function for cake and link. Same steps as above. We need to find the LP token address, get the contract and approve. We will get the balance of the user, and then we will run the remove liquidity function. We see that the transaction passed through, and if we check our wallet now, we have transferred our LP tokens for our link and cake.